Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Special Projects Replica style build. And in this series we've done quite a number of track focused or sometimes even track only Ferrari specials, such as the 458 Challenge, the 599XX and a variety of others. This is another one of those style vehicles, the F430 Challenge, one of Ferrari's slightly older track-only specials, and it is technically a race car, but it's a much more low-level personal race car. It allows for drivers which don't necessarily have as much skill as others to enjoy the thrill of racing. That's one of the great things about the Ferrari Challenge cars, and this is a relatively simple replica to do. As far as the visuals, I've painted it yellow, fitted it with BBS RE MG rims in the standard size, painted those silver. Obviously for the colour, the Challenge vehicles were available in a couple of different colours, so you can choose whichever colour you want. I've opted to fit a race number because obviously it's appropriate to the car, so really there's no real need to go over to the visual tuning garage. It's very simple visually. There is a body kit option on this car, but the actual Challenge vehicle doesn't have a body kit like that, so I've opted not to fit one of those. So we'll go straight over to the mechanical tuning garage for that side of things, and then of course take it out to a racetrack to see what kind of improvements there are over the standard F430. Now this particular replica build isn't as rounded off PP wise as I would usually like. It is however an interesting PP, 555. It would have been better if it was 550 or 560, but it was awkward to get it to be that way with the correct specs. Now I've gone for racing soft tyres because of course this is a competition vehicle. As far as the suspension, I've got the ride height as low as possible on the front, 10mm higher on the rear, just to even out that ride height overall. Springs have increased up to 1175 and 1625, the dampers to 5, anti-roll to 4. I am running a little bit of camber on this one, 0.5 front and rear, but the primary reason for that is not for the handling, it's actually for the looks. We've got neutral toe, as I always do. As far as the gearbox, as far as I could find, the gearbox is very similar to, if not the same as, the gearbox in the normal F430. Now, those specs may be wrong, and if you know otherwise, feel free to put that down in the comments for the benefit of others, but as far as I'm aware, it does use a very similar, if not, as I said, the exact same gearbox, so I've opted to leave it stock. As far as the diff, I've gone for the highest initial torque to stiffen up the steering, the lowest possible acceleration and braking, but as always, I would encourage you to mess around with those, find out what works best for you personally. As far as power, we do have an oil change on this one. We've got a stage 2 engine tune and then reduce the power down to 483 horsepower. And as far as the weight, you want the full weight loss package with a 37 kilo ballast, which we've put 40% towards the front of the car to improve that weight distribution and also bring us to the actual car's weight of 1225 kilos. The downforce unfortunately cannot be adjusted, but it is running a decent amount of downforce anyway. So that's it overall for the mechanical replica. A very simple one, actually, compared to sometimes. So now let's finally take it out to a racetrack to see what kind of differences all these things make. Now the way that I've tuned this car is in such a way that I wanted it to have more grip and to have much more stiff steering, like a race car. It does. Now it may be too stiff for some people, the handling is heavier than it usually is, far less tail happy, and it does have significantly more grip. And the main way that you can reduce that, if you do find it too stiff, is to reduce that initial torque down to say 30 instead of 60, and even say reduce the camber by the 0.5 degree if you feel necessary. Overall though, this car is very good, I would say, as a track car. It's fun, it has a massive amount of grip even on lesser tyres, and although the steering is stiff, as long as you drive it in the right way, or what I consider to be the right way, which is to brake a little bit earlier than you normally would, let it coast into the corner, and then give it the beans out of the corner, it will handle and perform very well. The grip, especially when exiting corners, is a lot better than you'd expect it to be. It doesn't spin up its tyres anywhere near as easily as cars like this often would. And so overall, if you do decide to use it, obviously I hope you find it fun and possibly even competitive, and be sure to subscribe down below for more like this in the future. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.